Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. I found this article from Yahoo Finance titled "Here's Why Silver Stocks Are Soaring Again Today." Really interesting, one of the more complex but also informative articles I've found explaining the stuff that's going on behind the scenes in the world of precious metals and how their prices are being influenced. Before we start though, I do want to mention we're about to hit 20,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough for the amazing support. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I do post daily videos, usually 2 to 3 videos a day. So make sure you subscribe if you want to stay informed in the world of precious metals and what's happening on a day-to-day basis. But let's jump into this article. So it goes on to say what happened, talking about G Summit and investor anxieties over economic risks, talking about Brazil rebuffing a helping hand to stamp out forest fires, while analysts didn't find it any easier to predict the next steps in the trade war between the U.S. and China. Definitely one of the higher influencing factors when it comes to precious metals and where they're headed, especially in the future. There has been only one clear winner, and that is precious metals. I definitely think right now it is the perfect storm for gold and silver. It's like all the stars are aligning and everything is kind of just falling into place for precious metals. And this article does mention some of the stuff I've talked about in the past, whether it's stock market volatility, the U.S.-China trade war, how politics can influence, how economic insecurity and risk definitely plays into, driving people towards precious metals as a safe haven. But there's also some other stuff. So I want to keep going and let's see if you guys can follow along with me, and I want to hear your insight as well. So it goes on to say, consider that the price of silver has risen from $14.61 per ounce in late May to $18.20 per ounce today. That's a pretty spectacular run for the precious metal, which is now trading at its highest level since its a brief period in early 2017. So that is definitely, a $4 price spike is definitely high in a matter of months, a couple of months, especially for something which is a slower approaching asset or investment like precious metals. Usually precious metals are more of a bear, slower paced market, usually for preserving your wealth, not something like stocks or cryptocurrency where it's traded on a day to day, where it could jump up a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s within a week or two. So it's interesting to see such a high price inflection and where it's headed. So at the end of the trading day Tuesday, shares of Silvercorp Metals had settled to an 11.8% gain. Shares of Coeur Mining were up 9.8%, while Alexco Resource had gained 15%. So that's extremely high for precious metals. So now they're going to say, so what? So the price of gold and silver tends to rise during times of economic turmoil or tumult as investors look to escape depreciating currencies and volatile stocks. That's definitely true. Anytime there's something in the economy happening, whether it's fear, whether it's insecurity, whether it's just skepticism, conspiracies, political views, anything that people fear or just feel a little on edge about, they turn towards precious metals, like I've currently said. That's worked out pretty well for silver stocks lately, especially those that investors think are already on the rise. For example, Silvercorp Metals turned in a solid fiscal first quarter 2020. Total silver sales volume jumped 27% from the year ago period, although lower average selling prices in the most recent period sapped some of its gains. Silver revenue increased only 19% year over year. That could change if current silver prices hold up, so it could go even higher. So Coeur Mining, which can be considered as a silver stock and a gold stock, is also benefiting from rising precious metal prices. The business generated 28% of total revenue in quarter two from 2019 sales of silver, although total silver sales slipped 15% from the year ago period. On the second quarter 2019 earnings conference call, management said that the half of the decline could be explained by lower sales volumes, which other half stem from lower ASPs, which slumped $14.75 per ounce in the most recent period. Current selling prices would help attack considerable revenue in the second half of 2019. So meanwhile, Alisco Resource is working to bring the Keno Hill asset online after years of feasibility studies and preparatory work. The company think the four deposits within the acreage could support roughly 4 million ounces of silver production per year. Not bad for a pre-production business. So I've been mentioning how silver supply has been slipping, how miners are finding it not as profitable as gold, so they're using silver as a bypassable product, usually finding it from, by accident when they're mining out lead or zinc or gold. And they are basically abandoning, silver mines, focal silver mines at least, and the only ones that are used right now are individual companies. So that's definitely something huge that I've covered over the past weekend. I made a 3-part video series going in detail on that whole entire, situation. But so if you want to check out that, make sure to go check out those videos. But this is something that is also really hopeful, at least, for deposits within the next year could support for the next acreage could support 4 million ounces of silver production per year. That's pre-production. So there is hope for the future. I do want to go on to say that they still need to renew its water use license for the asset. That's expected to happen before the end of 2019. So there's moves being made in the field, and it's not being put off. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be covering over, the next several months. And it continues to explore the acreage in deeper detail. But if silver prices remain at elevated levels as Keno Hill begins production, then the company would find startup much easier. And that's definitely true. If silver does start, or keep holding its weight, no pun intended, and keeps rising, then these miners are going to have more motivation to start, digging it again. And, the supply would go up to meet the demand, because if demand of silver is here, even gold, as they're going up, people are turning towards precious metals. Demand is going to be there. But if the supply isn't there, we know that low supply, high demand shoots the price, especially, supply and demand are one of the main influencers on silver and gold's price. So this is really key, especially for, for the lack of silver that is being produced, going down by the millions of ounces per year since, I think 2017. So this is interesting stuff, but that's really hopeful for the future of precious metals. The price of gold and silver tends to rise during times of economic tumult, look to escape depreciating currencies and volatile stocks. That's worked out pretty well for silver stocks lately. That said, investors with long-term mindset should understand the risks of investing in gold stocks and silver stocks alike, as they tend to underperform the S&P 500 over the long haul. Now, that's on the paper side of it. If you are in this for the physical bullion, like a lot of my subscribers are, a lot of my audience is, then this is stuff that we don't really care about. The fiat currency price attached to it's basically irrelevant when it comes in terms of long-term silver wealth, because we're stacking it for the metal content, not for the fiat value attached. But if you're on the paper side of it, day trading or whatever the case is, silver ETFs, then it could definitely be something to hinder its price if they're looking to replace one for another, because it is all about the dollar to a lot of those people that are on the paper side. If they don't care about silver's beneficial uses it has in the industrial, technological, and medical world, they don't care that it's the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. They don't care about any of that. They're looking at it just as a numbers game, how much money they can make. And if you're in it for that, then you're in it for the wrong reason anyways. But that's some of the risks that come along. That's some of the consequences. But that definitely is interesting, and it's something to note. Now, so I think that, yeah, that's the end of the article. If you do want to check this article out, the link will be in the description. I just thought it was interesting because they did mention several other things that are going to be influencing silver's price. I also was really, it was interesting to hear that miners might actually start taking, silver a little more serious, as they see that it's not just, a flat market. When I was reading one of the articles, from one of the mining companies on mining.com, miners were actually betting against silver, putting all their money on gold and literally abandoning it, just by the wayside. And I think that a lot of people underestimate silver. A lot of people even in gold underestimate silver. People always underestimate silver because it's been such a bear market. But they also do forget that not even 10 years ago it was $50. They forget all the main reasons why people invest in silver. The people like me and you invest in silver. And I think that people are going to start quickly realizing why we do, and they're going to be the ones kicking themselves in the butt, wishing they would have been buying it since $15, as a lot of us were. So if you are stacking silver, just remember remember that you are doing something right, and it's going to pay off. Your hard work's going to pay off, and we're investing into our future for financial freedom. Investing in something that preserves our wealth against the deflating dollar from hyperinflation, in regards to, an asset that has definitely been used as tangible valued currency for 6,000 years, longer than any fiat-based currency ever has and ever will be. No financial system has ever worked in any type of, country or a government-backed system. Silver and gold have always been seemed valuable or deemed valuable and always will. Fiat currency, on the other hand, loses 98% of its purchasing power. Basically, it's pumped out into a system, losing its weight, losing its value, and it burns. So I hope you guys do, just reflect upon that stuff. But I am curious what you thought about this article. Some interesting points in here. I'm curious what you guys think about some of this stuff about mining, also some of the stuff about the quarters and where, it's headed, especially for the paper side of it. This was more based on the paper side, but, as physical bullion people, it might not be as intriguing to you guys because this stuff isn't even relevant as much. But I do want to keep, people updated on what's happening behind the scenes and with precious metals, whether it's the silver ETF side of it or the physical bullion side of it, because this is an investing channel for precious metals. But anyways, though, I do appreciate you guys tuning in on the road to 20,000 subscribers. I appreciate all the support. I'm going to keep pumping out videos, keeping you guys informed with the day-to-day stuff, what's happening in the world of precious metals. So if you want to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, which is that little bell on the right side of it. Anyways, though, this was Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. Peace.